Last but not least, this is something that's incredibly personally important to me. As many of the people in this room are aware, 3 years ago, March, while falling asleep after an incredibly long day in Trenton, my other job, taking care of our children, I fell asleep and I heard what sounded like a gun go off inside my brain. I jumped out of bed. It scared the daylights out of me. Right then and there, I should have gone straight to the hospital. Instead, I did what every non-doctor in this room probably does, and I Googled my symptoms. And everything that came up said that it was probably a brain aneurysm, but it also said I should have been dead or unconscious on the floor. So I figured it wasn't. I made a joke to my husband that, guess that wasn't a brain aneurysm, and went back to bed. I am so fortunate to be standing here today. I waited several days before I ultimately drove myself to the hospital, walked in the door, and probably uttered words that they had never heard before and may never hear again. But I looked at the triage nurse and said, I'm fairly certain my brain is bleeding or I'm having a stroke. I don't want to die. You've got to get me in immediately. And within half an hour, I got diagnosed with something called a brain aneurysm. Now, prior to that time, I could have told you every symptom of cancer, of heart disease, heart attacks, and a whole host of other diseases. I myself had no idea what a brain aneurysm even meant or what that meant for me. And from that day forward, I decided to become an advocate. And real quickly, like when I went through my own experience, I was couched by people, particularly because of who we are and what we do. Stay quiet. Don't let people know you're ill. The vultures will circle. People will come after you. All of us are here for a reason, and it is to use our own personal experiences to try to help others and try to make this a slightly better place. So even if it means just saving one life, real quickly, one of our colleagues in the Senate, we were away together about a year into my recovery. I shared with this person my symptoms, what I had gone through, and how I could have died. I got a call several months later from this colleague saying, I'm in the hospital, I have a brain aneurysm, and I made my spouse bring me here because I remembered the symptoms that you spoke about. So thank you for everybody who co-sponsored this with me. We've got to bring more awareness to the signs and symptoms. If you ever have the worst headache of your life, if you ever hear a gunshot go off inside your head, if you have a droopy eyelid, you're having trouble with balance, do not do what I did. Do not Google it. Go straight to the hospital, because half of people with a ruptured aneurysm die. Out of the 2/3 who survive, most have lifelong deficit. Timing is crucial. So I thank you today. I thank you all for sponsoring this with me, and thank you.